fire for your mind. The kosher clinician.
To get to them, they're saying, you know what, it's not worth it. I'm going to ask you this question, if anyone will pop in. What percentage of women security boss do you feel are wife worthy and wife ready in your opinion?
Right.
And take yourself out of the question, because we know you're a 5-star recruit. You're a McDonald's All-American. But
McDonald's. Okay, so listen, with that, I was getting ready to say 20%, but now I'm saying 30. I think about 25%. Yeah. I think because
the whole U.S.
Right, because I'm gonna tell you what. Well, no, I'm talking about African American Black women, girls, young ladies, and I'm saying that because I think that they're not on YouTube. I have a whole neighbor. Hello.
What's going on, guys?
This is Unsolicited, and I am security boss. And look who I got with me today.
Hey, man, we bring it to you live from the greatest state of the Union, the Tar Heel State. We are in the Queen City. As my dear friend Linda and I are going to be talking about a very salient topic, security boss. We're going to be talking about a very salient topic as it relates to remnant women, modern dating and relationships, and also the Jada Smith fiasco. So, security boss, I did a show recently talking about a remnant woman. And so many men have a state of consternation when it comes down to understanding what a remnant woman is and the implications as it relates to relationships. What is your take? When you think about a remnant woman, what does the remnant woman mean to you as it relates to being traditional and then getting a woman of value and quality?
Well, remnant is things that are left over from some kind of catastrophic event, and I'm assuming we're talking about the feminist movement. And there are still women like myself and your significant other too we have remnants. We are traditional women. We do love our men. We respect you all. We find value in you all and in marriage.
Right.
And I'm finding, since I've been doing Unsolicited here, that there are a lot of other people, women, coming across a lot of other women that who have some of the same values. Now, will it go back and look the same as it did when, traditionally in the olden days? No, it won't.
Right.
It's going to be a new woman, a new traditional woman. It's going to look a little different. But for me, it's that same woman that respects and values her husband and still wants those marriage vows to mean something.
Right. And, I've always said on my show, The Kosher Clinician, I always tell guys there's 7 steps that men must go through in order to become optimized. And one of those is understanding female psychology. And one of the things a lot of men struggle with,
Hold on for one moment. I'm getting it. Corey, thank you so much for that. I hear we're getting an echo. Let us see, can we correct that? Sorry about that. All right, so give me a 1, Corey, if it's good now. Let me know. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for that. All right, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, no, you're fine. So one of the things that the men struggle with, security boss, they struggle with more or less knowing or more or less determining if the woman is in their corner is a woman of value, a woman is going to protect their inner sanctum as a man. Do I believe in marriage? Yes. Do I believe that most modern women are suitable for most traditional men? No. And the reason why I say that, because they don't even come in with a mindset willing to help men become the better versions of themselves. Some men see this utopianism when people talk about marriage. They talk about the beauty of marriage, but they don't look at all the implications that can cause a lot of distress and pain for a lot of men. And because of that, a lot of men are saying there is no benefit for marriage because there's not enough of the remnant. What's your take on that?
I can agree and disagree on that. I agree that our modern women are coming in very strong, headstrong, mindset off. But I think there are enough women like myself and others that are older women that we can share with them the good things, because my life is good. Right. And I happen to think sometimes women don't have enough or see enough examples of how it should be. Right. So then they don't know exactly what they want, because ultimately they want to be taken care of. Right. They want good men in their lives, but they waste their time doing screwed up things, getting high body counts, having kids by men that are not really into them. Raycon Amendment. So if we can prevent that and let them know, we can change mindsets. And I hear what you're saying, but if they're willing, and I just think there's not enough women or examples out there I was talking to my husband the other day, and I really don't know if there's been enough examples. And this is to take nothing away from Black men.
Right.
Okay. There hasn't been enough examples of strong Black men in our homes to let women know that this is exactly how it should be.
I agree with that.
And I think they don't know.
Right.
So if we can share some good examples, some good models of how men should be, you know, and how the woman should be,
right.
I really think women would want that, because I don't understand why they wouldn't.
Right. I think there's so many determining factors, security balls, that have more or less shaped the psyche of a lot of men. I think there are a lot of determining factors that cause men to be in a state of flux. You know, as I said earlier, it's not that men don't want to get married,
right?
But they feel like it's not enough women like you, and you know, and like the Luke Cases of the world and other good sisters, you know, that more or less have the wherewithal to become that woman of valor that's important for that man. And so, anytime you have women, or more or less men, trying to convey their needs, they call good sisters like yourself, you know, mammy and pick me.
Yeah.
And so they castigate you or cast aspersions towards you when you're trying to do the right thing. And so a lot of guys are saying that the juice is not worth the squeeze. And sadly, security balls, a lot of men are bossing up, and they're taking their talents elsewhere.
Yeah, I've seen that too. But, you know, the world is much larger than these YouTube spaces. But, you know, I don't want to give up on my ladies, because, again, I say all of them will not come. Some of them will be left behind, and that's okay.
Right.
You know, it's been that way forever.
Right.
But what are you doing with your life in the meantime?
Right.
I don't want to end up, or I don't wish anyone to end up on the other end of this 50 plus, 60 plus alone.
Right.
Along with kids,
right?
You know, and not have a good balance in their life. So I'm going to continue to push for women and to get the message out that marriage life is good, and how it should look.
Right.
And I just think it's going to be hard work, but if you have women that are willing to do so.
Right. Well, listen, I think what a lot of men are saying, security balls, is this: to the women that are listening, if you believe in the efficacy of relationships and marriage, what a lot of men are saying is this: are you willing to go on Capitol Hill? Are you willing to get the lawyers more or less to change some of the things that are impacting men in a negative way? What men are saying is that if you're not willing to advocate for us in the honor of masculinity, then why would they give you their best? So a lot of men are saying, security balls, that, you know, give me liberty, give me death. If the women that want the beauty and the benefits of marriage are not willing to march and not willing to fight for the laws that impact men in a negative way, a lot of men are saying, what's the benefit for me? And so I think if women want to get married, I love the work that you're trying to do, trying to get those traditional women, those remnant women, because it is a remnant that are trying to get married, you know, because I got daughters, and I do want my daughters to get a husband.
Exactly.
So I'm not against it, but the point is, a lot of women are not raised under that traditional umbrella. Men are saying they got too much to lose in these modern times and modern relationships. And because of the remnant, because a lot of men said that, you know, they felt like it was only 10% that are actually wife worthy or wife ready, they're saying that the juice is not worth the squeeze. So there needs to be advocacy, security balls, in my mind, where, you know, men and women are working together. Women like yourself, like you, the Shalakimia Moffats, the Luke Casleys of the world, the Shay Chardays, the Chantel Simones, you know, a remnant of good sisters that are pushing and fighting. And actually your work and some of their work is actually spreading on YouTube. A lot of people are actually talking about the work that you guys are doing. But like I say, you guys get a lot of vitriol. Yeah. You guys get a lot of pushback because a lot of people don't like, you know, folks talking about, you know, serving and honoring a man they see as being very servile or very servant-like. So where do you think all this came from? Because you and I are from the class of Gen X's, and we didn't have it as bad in our generation. But where do you think all this is coming from, security balls?
So before I answer that question, let's get started on this right here. We have some super chats coming in.
Yes, ma'am.
And Luke Caseley, thank you so much for your super chat. And she says, wow, two awesome people providing great content. Thank you, Luke Caseley. Yeah. Thank you so much for that. And also I have another one here. It is Randy, and gosh, Randy, I'm going to need your help, Kosher. Thank you so much for your $4.99 super chat.
For Randy K. Williams, sometimes people decide to go with what they want, but it isn't necessary what they needed. Yeah.
Sorry about that, Randy. We could, you know, listen, we're in a separate situation in another studio right now, and sometimes reading this monitor is not the easiest thing to do. So forgive us for that. But thank you so much for your $4.99 super chat. Right. So listen, to answer your question, first thing I would do I would love to do is make sure that I get out to women that they need to value men. Because I think that changes the dynamic. We first have to show the value, because if we are honest with ourselves, the traditional that my mother and father grew up in is no longer the traditional.
Right.
We need to redefine traditional, far as the duties, like what you just mentioned. Because I don't know many households where the woman is traditionally staying at home now and the husband is taking care of everything, and that woman can stay at home and provide for those kids. So we don't have to make it sound like that this is submission is, slavery and all of that, because it doesn't look like that anymore. So I just think someone needs to speak to the ladies and first show value in the man, because that's what's lacking. Because if I can show value in the man, like I show value in my husband, whatever it is he needs to do or wants me to do, I'll do. Right. So even if it's staying at home or even if it's going to work, whatever it is, I'm willing to do if I can see how valuable he is to be in my life.
But the caveat to that is that, it's almost like in theology, the word of God does not change due to the times. And I do agree with you in part, like you were saying, that you got what's called contemporary traditional versus old school traditional. So if we can juxtapose what those two look like, perhaps. But here's a caveat. A lot of modern women, security balls, still expect men to do traditional things like protect the home, cut the grass. It's like our rules never change. But as times go on, some of our women expect men to change the infrastructure of what tradition is. So I think I see where you're coming from. You're saying that you still can have a semblance of traditionalism, but it's not going to be 100% like it was in the past.
No, it can be traditional. Okay. But for me, traditional is doing and respecting my husband and whatever he needs me to do, whatever. But I first got to find value in that man to say, this is the man that I need to follow traditionally.
Right.
If I can't traditionally find value in him, I'm not going to listen to anything he says.
Right.
And see, that's to me is where the tradition comes from, and the duty of being married. Because if a man he says, I'm a traditional man, but I need my wife to work 20 hours a week. By the statement of tradition, that wouldn't be traditional.
I see your point. Yes and no. And I'm going to tell you why I say yes and no. And I do love your
So you're saying the same thing I am. Yes and no. You're saying the same thing.
And I'm going to tell you why I agree. But I do see your point, but I waver a little bit. I'm going to tell you why. There are women's security balls that live in the confines of other foreign countries. They still work. They work outside the home. And they still do everything else too. They, in other third world countries, the women go cook, they work, they do all of it. And they don't complain about it. And so, my mission is this: when you come into a relationship, are you coming to that relationship willing to serve? Or are you coming to a relationship talking about, duties and what I got to do? If you don't come to the relationship willing to serve, then I say stay single, because marriage is service, but it's also ministry. Go ahead.
But no, you're right. But you're saying the same thing I am. If I don't find value to serve, value in my husband that would allow me to serve him, then it's not going to work. I'm not saying a woman should change what she does. It's just whatever her husband needs her to do.
Right.
So you're saying exactly the same thing I'm saying. I just think now that women have gotten so, what is it? They hone in on this submission thing.
Right.
Instead of saying I'm serving my husband because I have value in him.
Right. I see your point. Right.
They're making it right. They're making it about the duties.
They're making it about the duties
instead of why am I serving?
Why am I serving? And here's the crazy thing about it, security boss. You serve the boss on your job. You serve your sorority. You serve everybody. Else, except the man that you said that you love, and that's a problem. And so what guys are saying, security boss, is this: what is the benefit that I'm getting? A lot of guys say, what's the benefit? What is the benefit in modern times to deal with modern women? They come in with a deficit mindset. They come in thinking that serving their man is something negative. So a lot of guys are saying, in other countries, the women still work and they count on honor and a privilege to serve their men. They don't see there's nothing bad. Now, listen, I'm not saying that men can't augment to some degree and help their wives out home. But at the same time, somebody can make the argument, if that man is working, are you going to cut the grass while he's gone? If that man is working, are you going to wash the car? If that man is working, are you going to, if a rat is in the house, you're going to get the rat? And so you see my point. So
Yeah, I'm going back to the initial thing I said is whatever the husband need for you to do, because he's the head.
Right.
But I first have to find value in this man.
Right.
And that's the problem. Women don't find value in men anymore.
Right.
And we got to figure out how we can get back to the value.
Well,
that's where it is. Because those women that are in third world countries or wherever, they see and know that it's very, it's beneficial for them to have that man to take care of the rat,
right.
to mow the grass,
Right.
to bring and provision and protect the home. See, I understand this.
Right.
I understand when the intruder comes in, my husband's going to shoot first and I'm going to get behind him. I get it. Because I'm in the real world, I'm going past talking points. I live this life.
Right.
I'm 26 years in, so I know exactly.
Right.
These younger women haven't lived the life, and they haven't seen it. They haven't seen it demonstrated.
Right.
So if you can bring real life situations to them and tell them why, and I dare a woman tell me that I can do that. No, you can't. Unless you are skilled in it. When the intruder kicks in the door, you gonna run or you gonna mess up. And like we said, it's one shot, because if you don't get that one shot, now they know where you are. They can shoot and kill you. So you have to know these things. And if you're not learned in this, you need to know why men are valuable. And it's not just that, but they are just valuable. They balance us. We balance them. I'm there for my husband. And I think that the demonstration of a strong Black man has not been in homes for a very long time. So women don't know what it looks like.
They don't know what it looks like.
They don't know how to invest in it.
Don't know what it looks like. And sadly, many don't want to know what it looks like.
I'm hard with that. I don't know if I can't imagine why they would not, because they want men. They're sleeping with men. They're procreating with men.
Right.
So there's some part about them that are wanting men.
I'm gonna prove my point.
Okay.
You can want a man for utility and sex, but you don't necessarily want a man for the value of what masculinity is. And that's a succinct difference. Dr. T.S. Johnson called it the concuserve, which is a concubine and a servant. I call it the commodification of subjugation. They basically see that man as a tool to use for their own benefit.
Mm-hmm.
And what men are saying, similar to what Patrick Henry said, give me liberty or give me death. What they're saying is that if I'm not going to get what I want in a relationship long term, if I'm not going to get a woman that's coming in willing to honor and serve me, my man, the Ingram Experience, talked about something called relationship capitalism. And he's correct. You search for the best viable means, the best viable option that's necessary to merit the outcomes that you want long term in that relationship. If you bought your husband a car and your husband bought a car, if you can get that same car for $3,000 less, why would he pay $5,000 more for it if he can get it less? That's the whole purpose of shopping. He that finds a wife finds a good thing, but that woman that's found is always the right wife ready. And sadly, a lot of modern women now don't want to be wife ready, and they mock or more or less minimize what you're trying to do when you're trying to tell them about the virtues of femininity and the virtues of traditionalism, but also Security Boss, the virtues of womanhood.
Right.
Let me ask you a question. What's been some of the negative feedback that you got, trying to be an advocate for traditionalism in marriage? What's been some of the negative feedback you got? Before
I do that, I want to go back because I feel like you made my point. You said it when right before you quoted what the author said. You said he said that they don't know the value.
Right.
And that is the problem.
Right.
Women don't know the value of the men. They actually think they're for utilities.
Utilities, right.
So I agree with you.
Right.
But we got to get it out of that because that's not what it's for. See, the utilities is what's spotlighted. It's all about that. What they can do like that. But I need to get women back and show them the actual value. And the only way we can do that is through demonstration.
Right.
Let me show you what this man, and this is a different man too. These men are plugged in. Not always have men been that way.
Right.
So we have to advocate for that. And that's what I advocate for. But as far as pushback goes, in my world, I haven't had any. I have not.
Okay.
I mean, I hear things all the time, but, a little less than women calling me or pick me a couple times or something like that. That's pretty much all I've heard. But do they come in my space and bring that drama? No, they don't.
Well, they call you pick, but they call not you, but they call women pick me.
Yeah, like me. Yeah. But I'm okay with that. I've been picked. That says a lot.
You've been picked, right.
So
that's a compliment.
Even that, right. That's a little, I'm not here to fight. I'm telling you, you have a good life,
right.
And it could be this way and you don't have to do it by yourself.
Right.
Because what I definitely know is when women have to do all parts of it, they lose who they are. Right. The femininity is gone.
Right.
Because they're chasing the rat. Are they doing the heavy lifting? I'm not interested in doing the heavy lifting. So I am, I'm trying to share these stories. And a lot of women are coming out now. They say they're taking notes. they're wanting the advice. Not all, there's still a lot of them out there that, doing. But guess what? Not all are meant to have this life.
Right.
And I think sometimes we concentrate on the ones that are not meant to have this life too much. And we need to concentrate on ones that want the life and just see, but again, if a man decides that it's not here for him here in the United States, I can't get mad at him.
Right.
Do what you got to do. I'm all about the love. And if the woman from wherever is meeting your entire needs and doing what you want her to do, then that's okay.
Right. Because see, a lot of men, security boss, are saying that, the laws are very caustic when it comes down to men and masculinity. A lot of men are saying, what are the benefits of me, after I work hard, built my empire, put in the work to get the infrastructure built, and we have very caustic laws that don't more or less advocate for the mental health and the well-being of a man. Did you know when a man commits suicide, gets married, and he loses everything, he's more at risk for suicide, depression, anxiety, and many other negative things can be very deleterious to his mind and health. And so what a lot of men are saying is that the same women that want us to get married, we need you to start going on Capitol Hill and advocating for the laws to change.
I agree with that.
Don't expect men to give their power and give their might away, but you're not advocating for the laws to change, because that's not fair exchange. Right. And so guys are saying, I'm not going to bust my ass my whole life and do everything right, and then I'm going to get a bad deal. That doesn't make any sense.
So let me do this first. Luke Hazley has a $20 super chat, and let me see if I can take a look at it. Modern women, not all but many, see men as providers and protectors, but not as husbands and fathers. I call it selective traditionalism. Excuse me.
Right.
Yes.
She's correct.
It is.
Selective traditionalism.
It is.
Cases. She's correct.
And I agree too that these women, we need to identify these women. Men, we need to identify these women and not get involved with these type of women. But you never see. You can never vet a person 100%. Security boss. A lot of them are chameleons, and they wear the mask until you say I do. So once the man put the ring on their finger, they be like that frog. You remember that frog on that WB commercial when the lights was on? The lights was on. He would be like ribbit. But when you turn the lights off, he was like, "Hello, my baby. Hello, my sweetheart. Hello, my ragtime girl." The frog started dancing. So once some women, once they get the ring, and the lights off, they start dancing because they know they got a sucker. And as a therapist, I don't think it's beneficial for a man to. But you know what, Coach? That goes both ways, though. Right. But listen, I'm not hearing from you that women can be assets. See, since the day I married my husband, I think he's always felt like I was an asset. Right. And that's what I miss from these talking points a lot of times. I don't hear that women can be assets.
Oh, they can be an asset if they're raised right. I think every man dreams for that. She's a help me to help him meet his mission on earth. So you're correct. She can be an asset.
So the thought shouldn't always be on the divorce, or if I would break up, this is what would happen. The thought, see, I'm one of those women that say we in this for life. You've heard me say this. There's no leaving, right. So it's hard for me to contemplate an end of mental health, or you leaving me, you're taking my kids, or even the court system. Right. I'm not saying it's not a real thing, but if you work at your marriage each and every day and you say this is the person that you're going to be with for life, then make that your goal.
But here's the caveat to that. You are 1,000% correct,
right?
But you are an outlier. And you're more of an exception than is the rule. You were raised under a time where women knew about that and respected that and understood that.
Right.
But this generation of women don't care about it. Most of them don't even respect it. And when you try to present it to them, they castigate you or cast aspersions towards you and say that what you're saying is crazy. So in theory, you are 1,000,000%. You're right what you're saying, but here's the caveat. Some call it utopianism, where we have this. We take our own personal experience. Security boss, and we fan it or oscillate it to the world, and we assume that based on our own personal experiences, based on the concept of utopianism, that everybody else is going to more or less ingratiate what we're trying to say and do and become what we think in our head. But this generation of women don't see that, because when you go to a lot of these schools now, a lot of the schools they don't exonerate men. They actually say the men are stupid. They say the men are weak. They mock men. So guys are saying, what's the benefit for me getting in a relationship where already the world is already mocking me and seeing me as being stupid, and I got a woman that's not cooperative. So, like I said, I'm not against marriage. I think marriage in theory is beautiful. I believe in the ideal of marriage, but like Mr. Palmer said, you got to change the law in your mind when it comes down to these modern women. And if you don't understand how to circumnavigate around some of the negative things that are going on with modern women, the remnant, then you can be in a state of peril. But I do like what you're doing, because the gospel does say, let the older women teach the younger women.
And that is it. Right. And it's not going to be the same for everybody, because the utopia is the same. Whereas the negative, that the men, why should I do it? There's going to be some woman, or you may be the one that has that one that does think like me.
Right. And just like,
but we have to, go ahead.
Yeah,
you see it?
Yeah. Your male said facts. He said, boss, you're a small percentage of women that men may see. You were the difference that
these times have changed when women aren't raised as wives. Listen, right. You might be right, but guess what? But men y'all haven't had examples of men either for a very long time. I mean, that's what I hear a lot.
Yes.
Okay, so wait a minute. Okay, let me get through. Right. So guess what? If I am an example, and there are several examples like myself, we have to share this information, and we have to change the mindset. We said it going in. Your mindset cannot be a single mind going into a marriage. You can't do it. Any part of it, if any part of your marriage, you would come in with a single mindset of being ahead or just in case, then you're setting a precedence of maybe this would fail. When if you can say, you know what, I'm going in this way. And you got to make sure she has the same mindset. I'm not saying you're alone. Y'all have to be on one accord. It can work, but I do agree with you. It's not all modern women, but I'm going to give them the same excuse that we give men. If there's no examples, if there are no examples of men in the household on teaching men how to be men, then I can't expect readily that you're going to know. And the same for women. If there is no examples in the household, or the women haven't been wives because there's no marriages there, they're not readily going to know exactly how to be a wife. But if they want it, and they're willing to do so, that is like 50% of the problem.
But here's the problem, security boss. The culture does not more or less
support
exonerate.
I agree.
Masculinity, heteronormative masculinity, and the exoneration of masculinity. Blue cases from a country where the culture and the home and the community support the efficacy of masculinity. And I would say that even the men that are in the home, security boss, they don't know how to effectively tell their sons about how to be men, because they don't do things from a position of power. American men have been so browbeaten that they don't know what their power is and what their worth is, and they go into a relationship deferring power, sadly, instead of demanding power. And what I mean by demanding power, if you put in the work as a man, you worked hard, you've done what you're supposed to do as a man, then you need to go into that relationship having high expectations and demands. So many women come into relationships as thinking by default, security boss, they're the prize, and I'm the queen, you got to kiss my behind. And what I'm saying is that what that does, it causes men to be renderless mentally. And so, when that happens, then men are not in a position to be the brokers they need to be. Now, I do agree with you that a lot of our men are not equipped, but a lot of our men are not equipped as well, because we live in a very gynocentric culture.
Well, I'm not giving an excuse per se. I'm telling you what we hear. Right. It's okay not to have it all together. Right. I'm saying if you're willing, that's what we have to do. Mm-hmm. We have to be willing to be better people, see, a lot of what you're saying is what the world has dealt you. Mm-hmm. See, I'm not so accepting of what the world has to offer. I want my life. I can acknowledge what is going on in the world, but it's not for me. So I'm going to create my own. I'm going to niche out my own thing till I leave here. Because if I'm going to be married, I'm going to be the best at it, and I'm going to make it work for me. Because I don't get being in a marriage that's not good for whatever reason. Right. And I'm going to hope that my partner is on the same page. Mm-hmm. Now, if for some reason they're not, that meant somewhere along the line, I didn't pick right, or something happened. I didn't pick right. He didn't pick me right. Something happened. Who knows what? And all I'm saying is I don't think women have good examples of marriage. Women don't, or wives, however you want to, being wives, being married, or whatever. I know for a fact they don't give any value to the black man, none whatsoever. And we need to change that. Men need to be valued. Black men need to be, all men need to be valued, but black men need to be valued. And
all men, you're right, all men, white and black.
Right. But if we can get to the what I'm trying to say, we get to the bottom of this and let everyone know that that's what's the most important. Right. We need to value you all.
Well, and I agree with you, but I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. The great teacher Jesus said, "You can't take new wine and put into old wineskin." So what men are saying, listen, we're gonna sit on the sideline until change comes. And Sam Cooke said it better than me, a change will come. Oh, yes, it is. And a lot of men are saying until we get what we want as men, we're not going to sign up for marriage. Marriage is serious. It's ministry.
Very serious.
It's a lot of work.
Very serious.
And I don't want to see a man give his life away to a woman that does not love him, honor him, and respect him. I don't want to see men come into my practice sad, depressed, and on the brink of suicide. You know, a lot of women that see, you know, the wedding, but they don't see the duties that are associated with being the wife. You know, they get ready for the wedding and the big day, you know, I'm happy, you know, I got the dress and all attention on me. But are you ready for what happens after you say I do? Because that's when the real work starts. I
agree.
And many times security bosses, they don't want to put in the work. But let me ask you this question.
Wait a minute. I agree with you, but that's not the woman I'm talking about.
Tell me the woman you're talking about.
I'm talking about the woman who has...
these hard.
Listen, they already coming to me telling me they're taking notes. They're taking notes. I had a young lady the other day, a blooming ebony. I mean, this shocked my heart. Mm-hmm. She wrote down everything I said, and because she wants to be married. Okay. She's a feminine woman, young girl, 25 years old, I think. She wants it. And I've heard so many more. There was another one, Cora Blossom. They want it. So they're taking notes on to how to achieve it. They know they don't have it together now. Do you understand? But they're saying they've taken feminine classes. They're doing this stuff on their own to get to a point where they can say, I want to be a good wife to a man. So I'm just saying, men, don't give up on us. There are some people talking to these ladies, and men, there's a lot of you all talking to the men. I hope y'all listening, and we're going to get this together for as long as we can.
Well, yeah, right. So like I said, the remnant that's left, yes, I would say the remnant is left, and sadly, it's not as big as it should be, but I do congratulate you, Security Boss, on doing the work that you're trying to do to get the message out and trying to help the young women that are willing to become exemplars that are necessary to get the kind of man that they want. I share this with you ladies, the power and the task of masculinity is a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And if you're not willing to come into the relationship, willing to work and to give that man the best bang for his buck, you know, but a lot of men are saying, you know what, I'm not signing up for it. And listen, I think men should come in too. We're not talking about dusty men. You know, men don't have a vision. Men don't have a plan. Men don't know how to lead, because the men need to be taught how to lead better as well. But what I think security, but actually what I know, society does not hold women to the same accountability that they hold men. Men are still held to a higher level of accountability.
Yeah.
If we don't do X, Y, Z according to societal standards, there are penalties. But a lot of times, with no fault divorce, with paternity fraud, with domestic violence, many times women are given a slap on the wrist.
Right.
So men are more readily prepared, even though they're not 100% kosher. Mm-hmm. They're a lot more readily prepared to be exemplars and men in the community than a lot of our women, because of the accountability factor.
Right.
And what men are saying is that until the laws change, until accountability change, they're not saying they don't believe in signing up for these current modern marriages.
Well, I can agree with that. I mean, if you absolutely have, you know, the laws do govern us, mm-hmm. And you know, but you said a bunch of things that I wish that didn't apply to when we're finding our mate, like paternity. We shouldn't even had a baby prior. Why is that even important right now?
That happens in marriage.
I know. I was getting ready to say the same next thing, but again, wrong. You know, wrong behavior, bad behavior. Right. Yeah. So I agree with you, and things should be changed. There should be some walking out. I agree. I advocate for men. I want you all to have the best life possible, women and men.
Right.
Before I go on, though, I want to say this, guys. Listen, thank you guys for being here. Y'all know this is just something that we put together, but let's get some thumbs up. Let's get those likes up. I appreciate you guys for being here. I didn't get to say hello to anyone because we just jumped right into it, but I am so glad that you're here. Get those thumbs up, and we're going to open up the. Are we going to open up the line for just a little bit?
We will, but let's ask before Big Boss open things up. I want to ask you a question about this Jada Pinkett Smith fiasco. You know, that was one of the leading intunes to the story. And, you know, what's your take on this Jada Pinkett Smith fiasco? Do you think Will is emasculated? Do you think Will is a simp? And I'm going to say this. I think he's an unconscious simp. I feel sorry for Will. I do feel sorry for him. But if you continue to allow a woman to disrespect you as a man, then it's going to happen. I don't think Will is a simp at his core. At his core, I think he's a man. But I think what he's doing, his behavior is simp-like behavior. He's an unconscious simp because he supplements irrational male behavior patterns. And so I don't think he's a bona fide simp, but some of the things he allowed his wife to do to him, in my mind, is extremely emasculating. What's your take on that?
So I think Jada is out of order. completely the things that she does. But I happen to think Will is in more control, or let's say more disconnected than we ever know.
Right.
I almost think that Will don't even care. If you really want to know the truth about it, it has the appearance of not caring, just for all those reasons you say he should. You know, she's disrespecting him. She talks about other men, right? You know, talks about him had an affair, right. You know, open marriage. I just don't see this being a real relationship that we should even invest our time into, because I just think Will is in more control than we think. I don't think Will is a simp. I think Will is a very powerful, rich man, and I don't have those problems that he has.
Right.
And it's very hard for me to see, you know, because like some say, well, he got so much money and this, he can have any woman he wants. Exactly. Right. So why is 25 years later he's still putting up with junk?
Because, and
I'm telling you, he don't care. He doesn't care what she's doing. But as far as this embarrassing him and calling him out, I kind of think that she's crying out. She just wants the attention.
She's acting out.
She's definitely, what? I got to ask the question. She's definitely acting out. But guess what? Does he care enough to correct her? No. So, I mean, listen, that's their house. I mean, I just know being married a long time is different from the things that we see. You know, we always talk about what we will and will not do. There's no reason for her to put all that junk online or out there. And he sees it just like we do. And guess what? I bet he hears it before we see it. So why couldn't he shut it down?
Well, listen, image, yeah. So does image play a role? I'm sure image does play a role in Will Smith's whatever. But like I said, I don't think he's a bona fide simp at his core. I don't think he is. But the behavior that he's allowing is simp behavior, which puts him in the simp category. So is he bona fide? No, he's not bona fide. I think he's a man at his core. But what he's exhibiting, because he's allowing this woman to continue to emasculate him, a woman that gave him the negative look, and then he goes to defend her honor, but she didn't love him enough to protect him. Then to me, that's simp behavior, because I don't see you doing that.
No, I mean, because me and my husband have a relationship.
Right.
I don't think there's a relationship there.
Right.
That's what I mean by it. There's no relationship. It probably hasn't been forever. That's why she don't mind telling you her true feelings.
Right. Well, she said, I think there was some stories that said she never loved him anyway. And you remember that song, I don't know, it was Adina House, that Love Don't Live Anymore. So.
See what I'm saying? If he never cared about her like that anyway, and his whole thing is to give you all the image that they're a perfect family, and he's probably said somewhere along the way that he would never get a divorce. But I think I did hear him say that something about divorce. I don't know. Then he's going to stick in there because he doesn't really care. There's no connection. Even though they're married, there's no connection. Like I say to everyone all the time, my husband and I are one. We are one accord. We spent our years becoming that way. We built a foundation in the beginning, and we don't let things penetrate that foundation. They didn't do that.
Right.
They went as they go, and then the ministry that they belong to, you know what that's about.
Right.
But straight up wickedness.
Right.
So how can we even expect anything that looks remotely right to come from them two?
Right.
Or that we can identify with? Let's say it like that. How can we identify with them when they have clearly said that we're going to live our life this way?
Right.
And then we're going to have an open marriage. And then what is the expectation from an open marriage? Right. What are we expecting?
Well, and you know, I'm going to do a show on that at some point, because I've always said in the past, men are not designed for that. Men are not, and some women are not designed for it as well.
What, an open marriage?
Men I think women are more designed for it than men. But in general, men are definitely not designed for open marriage, because men can't have the thought of another man touching a woman. And especially a Leo like me, you know, we definitely But I want you to tell the audience what it feels like to have the cover and the protection of a masculine man. What does that feel like?
Oh, it feels absolutely wonderful. I say this all the time. Ladies, y'all know, Mel, Bolo, all you guys, y'all know what I'm talking about all the time is it's good over here. I love the fact that me and my husband have a relationship. We've been in marriage a long time, but we still have a relationship.
Right.
We're still connected. I love it. I love the fact that, listen, the other day I told a joke, I'm his possession. I love saying that. It doesn't bother me to say that.
Right.
He got papers on me. That means he cares, you know. Who throws away their possession? Who burns their assets? You get what I'm saying?
Bone to your bone, flesh.
Exactly. So I'm good with it. That's what I'm trying to share with ladies. It's not, I'm for real. It's a real
but some see that as a negative connotation.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
But it's not, because see, what women don't understand, security boss, is that patriarchy created chivalry. and
Exactly.
men gave women the best because they saw them as their prize. And so if a man don't see you as his prize or his possession, he's not going to give you his best. And what, like what a lot of men are saying now, why would I give my best to modern women? They got 4 and 5 kids by different men.
You wouldn't. That's not the one. She needs to. She doesn't get the best.
But they expect the best.
No, we don't care what she expects.
Right.
She's taken herself off the market 5 times, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she can have a good man later in life, but her life now needs to be devoted to those 5 kids that you just mentioned. And when she gets old enough to have a husband that she can be totally devoted to, she can have them. But for now, she's not the person that we're talking to.
Right.
We're talking about the women who want those husbands to cover them, to protect them, to add the provision, to make the decision. See, look, I like the idea that if something goes wrong in my house, it's my husband's fault.
Your husband got you, right?
Right. But I also want to build on relationships, because too often people are married and they don't have relationships.
Right.
It's a good thing. I mean, if you out here dating, then why not date your husband? Why not be involved in his life?
Right.
Why not have him with you all the time? Y'all see that, right? Anyway, he can't, that's my experience though. My husband, you got to see my experience, right? Culture is experiencing my life.
He takes damn good care of me.
He's experiencing my life. Right. And we do it together. He sees me as an asset. I'm gonna have to talk to him about this one day, but I don't think he would ever say, baby, we divorced, I'm not giving you 50% or something crazy like that. Or I need the law, the court system is against me because you're gonna get. No, he's not gonna say anything crazy like that because I have invested my life to him. So he's never gonna see it like that. He's never gonna see it that way because
I can see that to some degree.
He will never. I'm telling you, he will never.
That you give him as much.
Everything.
Right.
Everything.
You're saying you help him build power.
Yes, of course. That's what I was supposed to do. And that's what women are supposed to do. So if it should ever end, heaven forbid, then
she ain't giving. I love the security boss. She ain't giving 50%.
Oh Lord. See, that's what I'm saying. See how men be talking crazy, y'all. Talking crazy. They be talking. You be with them the 30 years of your life. They tell me she ain't getting 50%. Make it make sense to me. Well, I'm gonna have to talk to your other half to see, because maybe we need to invest more. Maybe she need to invest more time.
She ain't getting 50%.
Look. That's even better. You ain't got to give me 50%, but you will take care of me for the rest of my life, because that's what marriage is. Even if I'm not with you, that's how the kings did it. That's how the kings did it that way, girls.
But that was on the time of security.
Oh, so we don't want to go back that far.
It was based on what women did work.
It was whatever. Listen, right. Me carrying that water on my head was work.
Oh boy.
I just made it up. Yeah. But anyway, I'm just saying, whatever kosher you needed to happen, whatever Mr. Boss needed to happen, I'm there for it. Mm-hmm. So there's value in that. He sees me as in his asset. He has this business here. Right. If he says, I need you to be the face of this business, you go talk to these people on Friday. I'm going to talk to these people on Friday. Right. And that's just how it should
I mean, if something happens, I'll take care of my
wife. Course.
I'm going to take care of her. I don't know what that looks like, but will I take care of her? And we be amicable and go our separate ways. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to make sure she's taken care of. I won't leave her to the wolves. But if she does something egregious, no, she
Mr. Scotland, my husband taking care of me for life, all the way. For life, it's for life. We have to start thinking that way, because men want women to invest their lives totally into them, and I'm good with it. But you definitely need to understand what you're saying and what you're asking.
Yeah, I can see your point more. They came in with nothing, they built an empire. I can see that
right,
more.
Because I've been married so long.
Right.
Yeah. But if you already got it.
That man already had an empire built.
I agree.
She didn't get half of what I got.
I agree.
They've already got an empire built. But if y'all came in and built your empire together and you played a major role,
exactly.
I think you do deserve a percentage of it.
But even in that, if I'm 30 years old and I've become a doctor and I'm ready to have a husband that said, you know what, babe, I got you. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna make sure I do this continuing ed or whatever I got to do to keep this doctorate, but I'm your wife. I'm done. Right. I still expect you to take care of me for life, even if it doesn't work out, because I just did at that moment when I made that decision to give up that doctorate or stop working. I'm now yours for you to do whatever it is.
Okay, I see your point. You're saying that if you were working, you was in school.
I had a career in being a doctor.
And you stopped to support your husband.
Exactly. Whatever that mission is for life.
I agree with that. Right. That's fair. Right. I don't have a problem with that because you put your time and took time of your life to support this mission.
Right.
So that's fair. But she cheated on me, security boss.
Cheating? We ain't talking about cheating. Grown people don't cheat.
If she been messing with another man,
we ain't talking about that. No, grown people don't cheat, men nor women. I'm not bringing that confusion into my marriage.
Take that L.
Listen, I'm not bringing that type of confusion in my marriage, y'all. That's kosher talking like that. I don't. That's the problem. We entertain this terrible stuff too much. We need to entertain happiness. So listen, if we're dropping the link, we're gonna do it now, guys. We don't have a few minutes, so listen. If you all have a question, please go ahead and ask your question. How are we gonna do this? Go ahead and we're gonna drop the link, and then we're gonna answer your question as soon as possible because we don't have long.
We don't have long. We're in the Queen City, bringing it to you live from the greatest state in the Union, the Tar Heel State. Once again, here with Security Boss, and we chopping it up. It was very impromptu. Impromptu. It wasn't planned, but I decided to take an excursion to Charlotte this weekend, and so I decided, why am I going to go holler at Security Boss, man? And we come in and chop it up. And man, she got a nice studio. She's on point. Mr. Leo got everything on fleek, man. So Mr. Leo got everything.
Yeah, formerly known as Mr. Boss. Mr. Leo. Mr. Leo is Mr. Boss. But listen, guys, if y'all, we dropping the link. Come on, tune in really quick. We got about 5 minutes of questions we can do, and then that's it. Maybe 5-10, and then we're done. Okay. And then we're gonna get done. And listen, we appreciate you guys so much for tuning in for this. Thumbs up. You agree with Security Boss? Thank you, A Senior. Thank you for being here. See, that's what I like. Y'all, he's a part of SB Nation. Okay. Randy, thank you so much. Y'all know, listen, they keep going so fast. You feeling the jacket? Was that me or Coach? What jacket you feeling?
I don't know. She got the white swag, so it might be both. I got on the silk side, so. Okay.
He keeps fixing the jacket. Oh, you keep fixing the jacket? Okay. He think he look good out here today, y'all. He said he got the Leo swag. So listen, y'all. Listen to conclude this. I think Kosher is.
We got a few minutes. We can take a few.
Kosher has been. He's advocating for men. I advocate for men too. But listen, I'm not trying to leave my women behind. I want you both. I want both of women and men to be successful and succeed in all things. For me, it would be marriage, because I think marriage is a covering against the world. Actually,
it is.
It keeps you from a lot of things, and I'm going to continue to share this with you. And make sure you go over to Kosher's channel. You want to shout out your channel now?
Yes. So my channel is the Kosher Clinician. My channel more or less harkens on male empowerment. I tell men that there are 7 steps they must go through in order to become optimized, and understanding female psychology, finances, family, faith, politics, world travel, and also mental and physical wellness is very important to the function of a man. I do what I do as a licensed therapist because I want men to get the best bang for their buck, the best value, and get with women that are willing to come into their relationship to honor them and respect them. And I also teach men that they have more power than what they realize. There's a remnant of good women that deserve to be with great men. But what men are saying is so much crap that you got to go through.
Neighborhood of young ladies that are ready, I would just love to embrace them and get them husbands that have been brought up in 2-family households, who know that men are valuable, who have their fathers there protecting them, and all of that. Right. And so that's the reason why I would say 25%. So who do we have here? Oh, we on lock. How you doing today? Let's see if we can get you up, though.
How are you?
Hey, we on lock.
Hi, how are you?
What's up,
Hold on for a minute. I can't hardly hear you. Go ahead, talk. Go ahead.
How are you all?
We're doing well.
I see you brung the misters.
Can you turn up a little bit? We on lock. Just give us a minute. We can barely hear you, but it's on our end. It has nothing to do with you.
Okay.
Money Life Matters said, he said, I respect you, but he said, that's way too high. Some think it's less than 10%.
Money Life Matter, it is about 25%. It's just that they are not on YouTube in these YouTube spaces. We're talking about the whole United States now. The whole United States.
I don't know security.
Now on YouTube, it's about 2%. I'll give you that, but not in the whole United States. Okay, go ahead. We unlock. Let's see, can we hear you?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I see you brought the misters. How are you doing, sir?
How you doing, sir? What's going on, man?
This is a first. This is an absolute first.
What do you mean? You never seen me?
Yeah, it's a very first that a man and a woman that's married has been doing a live together.
You think you're my husband? This is kosher connection. This is not my husband. Oop. We all lie. What did you miss? Listen, Mr. Boss is in the background.
Came in.
Okay, so let me get it straight for you. This is Kosher Conditioning. He has his own channel where he advocates for men. You got to go check it out. You will love it. You actually will love it. But Mr. Boss is still in the background, and
Mr. Leo's right behind.
So Kosher and I have been together before, though.
Okay.
So, do you have a question though? Does your question change?
No, not at all. I was going to ask you, Mrs. Boss Lady.
Yes.
How can you repair a marriage once it's been damaged? How, in your opinion, can you repair a marriage?
First, I think you have to put a bright light on an actual problem. You can't pretend that nothing's going on. But once you've done that, then I think you need to analyze it and see, do we need help counseling with it? Do we probably need to seek help? And then once you seek the help, you have to basically, for me, start over. You have to go back to the basics of where we went wrong or what brought us together. And we have to start the work, because somewhere along the line, there was a crack in the foundation and you allowed something to seep in. So we got to go put that back together. And I'm not going to know where it is. And she's not going, y'all are not going to know, but you got to be honest and real about it. I wouldn't walk away unless it's just something that, I always say I'll walk away from the serial killer. But anything less than that, I would try to work out. But you got to get to the actual root of the problem and put a bright light on it. There's no more hiding, no more darkness, no more sneakiness around it. We got to call it out, and you got to want to be healed or back with your spouse. You got to want to put it back together.
Yeah, in other words, get baptized.
Oh no! If you got whatever you got to do, if you want the relationship, you got to do the work. But first, you got to be honest. You got to put it out. You got to build that foundation. You got to get that foundation back intact.
Interesting. Because I already told you my story.
Some of it. No, you got started and we got interrupted. You got
maybe one of these days I'll go ahead and tell you my story, which
I definitely want you to, because you made it through it. But this is what I say to individuals. I don't want to just be married. I want to love my husband. I want to like him. I want to be into him, because I got to be with him for the rest of my life. So that's the thing I'm shooting for. And I want everybody to do that is married, because I think that helps us a lot. It helps a lot within marriage to be into your spouse.
Yeah, you have to be for the rest of your life if you want to dedicate yourself to marriage. Marriage is another level. It's not boyfriend and girlfriend anymore. It's something that is sacrificial. You have to actually sacrifice a lot of things in your life for it to work, because it's a partnership. It's not just a partnership, but it's a covenant between you, God, you and God.
Yep.
All right.
And you don't want to get that wrong. You don't want to get that wrong. You want to make sure that stays intact. This is one thing too, I tell myself every day. I'm going to remain blameless. So if something happens within my marriage, it's my husband's fault.
Always the man's fault.
But listen, guys, it's my husband's fault. So if you're ready for that, this going just tell your wife, baby, it's all on me.
Just blame Eve.
Yeah, it was Eve's fault, but hey, I ain't taking responsibility for that. That was a long time ago. But listen, do you have something else you wanted to ask? Because we're getting ready to actually end this show, because Mr. Kosher has to move on. But I appreciate
my apologies for earlier, because I thought you.
Oh, it's no apology. Listen, we need a mistake in every show. It makes it nice.
You can ask one of the ladies that will pop in and ask a question for me.
Oh, okay. So, ladies, any ladies that is in the chat, if you want to pop up and ask a quick question, please do. We're on a time limit, but listen, we want to hear from you, ladies, at all the time.
Shout out to the little Hobbit, knock perspective. Shout out.
All right, we on like.
Thank you for the opportunity.
I'll see you on Tuesday, hopefully.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Thank you, brother. Shout out to the knock perspective. I call him the little Hobbit.
Yeah, Mel.
How you doing, people? How you doing? Happy Sunday.
You too. How you doing?
Well, I'm all right, man. Just cleaning up my room and stuff. Yeah, I think I got a little cold too. You can probably
You sound a little nasal, but what's up? What you got on?
Oh man, I definitely wanted to add something right here too. Like because something that reminded me, like with the other celebrity couple, but also too.
Yeah, hold that thought.
Yeah, y'all remember like 2 years? What was it? 2 years ago, a year ago, when the Nicole Parker and Boris Kojo was online, and they was talking about their relationship, and she mentioned about how she wished she was single again, and then they got dragged like crazy when she said that, and the look on her face. But after a while, she sort of clarified what she meant when she was talking about that, and I understand that. But she was talking about when the couples, like, before they commit to each other, it's like that courtship process when they having fun dating each other, getting into it. Like, that's one of the other problems also too. Like, just because after you get married, the work don't stop. You don't stop dating your lover and stuff.
Right.
Even after you get married, and that's one of the problems and stuff that's going on. Like, in most marriages, like, they stop dating after they get married. Like, you think the work stops and the courtship stops after? As soon as you walk down the aisle and say I do. Nah, like, I know things happen, work and everything, but you still got to make time, plan. You still date your partner. I don't want to use the word. You date your lover. I'm sorry.
Gotcha.
So,
So listen, thank you so much for that, Mel. We have definitely ran out of time. Listen, I'm going to see you on Tuesday, hopefully.
Definitely.
We'll talk about this more, because this is like a good topic. I appreciate that,
Right.
Coach. So we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it more. And listen, I did not get to say hello to everyone in the chat, but I love the fact that you all are here. This is an impromptu, and we just put it together.
Can I be a mod? Can I be a mod to your channel?
My channel?
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about it. Talk to me about it on Tuesday. You know, Mr. Boss controls all that, but definitely you there all the time. We'll talk about it. Okay. We'll get it started. All right. I'll see you on Tuesday.
I'm gonna check out your channel too, Mr. Kosher. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, please do go subscribe, man. The Kosher
definitely.
Go check it out, and tell other people about it as well, man. We
definitely
empower men and for men to get the best they can get.
Definitely, man.
Big Bad Bull, how are you? So listen, Mel, we'll see you on Tuesday, and we appreciate you all. But listen, guys, we have to end this show.
Good weekend.
We'll be coming back. We're gonna do this again. We're gonna do it again. And listen, y'all have a good rest of your Sunday. It's been a pleasure. And Kosher, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. I appreciate the Security Boss from the Queen City.
All right, guys. Peace.
Hello, this is Security Boss. Listen, guys, I'm coming to you with something new and very exciting. It's called I Choose You. Yes, it's a new dating show, and we want all of you to get excited about it. Yes, it is a dating show. It's going to be a virtual dating show. We want all you bachelors and your bachelorettes to get excited about it. So stay tuned for I Choose You.
Driving around in California, looking for something to make me stay. Round and round forever, searching for something that could never get replaced. Don't need you to save me, but I just really need to be saved. I'm just so sick